character more than anything, not his Mario Kart skills.
And with that, I'm really depressed because all of you guys are failing right now. By the end of the day, I want to see all of you guys cosplaying as Eric July.
They need Nick's advice to cosplay as Eric July.
I'm going to pull a Ryan joke. So Chris is from Canada. She can get her Prime Minister to give all of you white people
I was advocating that she cosplay as Isom, but
Next year.
we'll get more progressive next year.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Friday Night Dice is something that obviously a lot of you watch, and it's the biggest thing that we're part of in our little world in terms of like, what are we hitting now? 12, 15,000 live concurrent viewers every week, which it's just something that's we truly. I know it's like a meme that we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're fucking doing. Kata today, who seems to be the most popular and famous person here, is like, I don't know what his panel was. I don't know.
I've been advertising for like a month. Hey, I got this big YouTuber panel. I didn't know much about it other than I knew Nick was supposed to be a part of it. So that's just what I've been telling people. Today, we're sitting here at our booths, and Nick comes up and he's like, hey, is this like panel, like, am I supposed to like be on that? I don't want to impose. But we got it all worked out as we usually do, and we're here. We're not done with intros yet, though.
Yeah.
I think we should start with Eric July. He's been kind of the news this entire week. He's done unbelievable work. And I saw him last night and he showed him that it was awesome. It's something that I can see on a comic new release show. Easily. So it's that kind of quality. So let's hear it.
Well, yeah, it's still kind of surreal for me. Definitely to see two cosplayers of these characters is something that I have to get used to, and I'm still. I don't think I ever get used to that. I didn't anticipate it just going to do what it did. I mean, we're at 3.3 million, like. Right now, this is the biggest story in comics right now, despite them, the mainstream guys covering it or refusing to. And that's fine with us. That's the point of what it is that we're doing. We're not trying to go through them. We're showing that we don't need to go through them in order to be creative and to make something come into fruition. And everybody here that has purchased the book or even considered it, you all appreciate it, obviously, but this is so much bigger than myself. This is just an example of something that's tangible that shows everybody here that this is very possible. I know we gripe about a lot of what's going on with the mainstream and a lot of characters and brands that we've grown to love of being, brand in the shit, basically. And, you feel kind of helpless, really, because you're like, well, I'm depending on these people to give me entertainment. And that's simply not true. We have a lot of creative people that are in our space, and this is just the latest example of exactly that. When someone decides to, hey, I'm going to give it a shot, this community rallies behind them, and you see what it is that we're capable of doing. And they hate us because they can't control it. Like, we did everything as independent as we realistically can. Yeah, we're dealing with the pieces of shit over at PayPal, but aside from that, like, everything's good. Like, this has been more successful beyond my wildest dreams, and I appreciate every single one of you that has purchased that, but understand that it's way bigger than me. There's going to be a lot more creatives that are entering into many different sectors in entertainment. Like, everything in entertainment needs to be upended right now. It's all archaic, it's all fucked up. So as long as we got creative people out there giving it a shot, I encourage you to do that. Is everybody gonna just make 3 million? Hell, I wasn't supposed to fucking do that. So no, but that doesn't mean you cannot see success. Like, we have a foundation that we have to lay, and I think we're gonna be entering into like this creative renaissance. So I'm stoked, and I'm so thankful and blessed that you guys went out there and supported us like that.
And it is a creative renaissance we're in right now. This is the one that Hollywood and big tech, they all should have picked up on, the publishing industry, and they left behind because they chose their politics, their personal politics, and they chose to come up against you. So, I mean, like, we could say they hate us. They don't hate us. Like, what Jeremy says all the time is I've been saying the same shit for years. So it's connected to people. That's what they hate. They hate you. They hate you. And they've made that abundantly clear over and over again. So finally, we just did what they said. Well, okay, well, fuck off.
And yeah, to your point, I mean, they're not upset at our opinions. They're upset that too many people agree with our opinions. They're really upset about that because I've talked about it. I've asked people on the main streets in the past. I said, if I had 12 people that watched my video and I said the same exact thing, would you be upset about it? And they're like, well, I mean, I probably wouldn't know about it. I'm like, the point is my opinion isn't a problem because you're just upset that too many people agree with our opinions because it's not our opinions, it's that you see too many people responding to it. It's an act of jealousy. And, you know, that's just something, again, I'll repeat what I said earlier just to make sure Nick is not a liar. We're just going to repeat ourselves from earlier. But yeah, I mean, there's very little jealousy in this little world. And that's the best part of it. And that's why you can see people like Nick and, you know, 100,000. And it's a beautiful thing. They say the exact same thing. Yeah. I'm honoring your word. But yeah, in terms of this, obviously, with what we're doing Friday Night Tights, I'm Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and Gary made my career after. But yeah, so it's just been a wild ride for us. Look, this room is nearly packed out, and I know that's mainly because the Kate is here, but I think we got to. I promised your dudes. Right here.
That's why some people people left. And I think one of the coolest things about Friday Night Tights has been all of you guys, whether it's the Legion of Memers, whether it's the chat, whatever, it's become a thing in and of itself. Hey, you got a similar thing with your chat. Like your chat for a while was just known as like this is just a certain thing. These people are a certain way. And it's awesome for us. I know what you're talking about. Touchdown! And that's what allows, you know, people like what we're doing here at FNC. Even if we don't have anything really good to talk about that week, it's still fun as hell because we're having fun on the panel, you guys are having fun in the chat, and yeah, we're just lucky as shit to be up here, to be honest with you. Yeah. Next year, what I'd like to see is us bring Alex Jones to the panel. I think we can get Alex Jones to a Super Saiyan. Based on the people I've seen walk around this convention, there's a lot of people that take them up on their offer to eat their ass.
Someone has to say it.
It usually ends up being me somehow.
We got to turn it over to Unbreaded himself.
Oh, hey! Thanks for having me on the show, guys. I love going on Friday Night Tights. Like, legitimately, it's always tough with scheduling and stuff, and sometimes I don't respond to DMs. Really sorry about that. Well, yeah. I know. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to go on their show. I'm not going to do that. Oh, no, shit. No, it's such a great show. It's such a cool chat. And I love that it has turned Gary's channel from like this, what it used to be this commentary channel about comic books and movies, to actually now it's just Friday Night Tights and then just Super Chat catch-ups, man. But no, But no, going back similar to what I said earlier, every one of these dudes up here are the hardest working guys I know, but having the most fun while doing work. And that is something that what I hope to show through my channel and what I hope to show, or that I hope we convey, is like, you have to find fun. You have to find joy. Joy isn't happiness. It's not like some temporary thing. It's just this knowledge and assurance that what you're doing is fulfilling. And that is what, like, to me, when I watch these guys on Friday Night Tights, when I get to join the panels, or when I'm doing my own show, like, it doesn't matter what that show is, it's that I'm getting to do it. So I hope we get to inspire y'all to either make your own thing and make it your profession if you can. But not everybody can. If you can, find yourself a damn thing to make yours and to make you whole. Those, like, make. You're wired to make stuff. And you're talking about the creator renaissance, this creation revolution that's out here. Why do you think people are buying $3.3 million worth of books from some jackass? Right? Or watching 15,000 people a night, and like, that's not the same 15,000 people. That reach is huge. It's monumentally bigger than we ever realized until we actually look at it. They're coming because someone's making something. We're not a corporation pumping out bullshit. We're creating something new. And that's what everybody needs to be doing. You guys can do it too. It might not be a profession, but make it your hobby and find it, because it will change your life.
That's one of the best things about this is all the people that come up. That's my job. I was gonna just try to start a clap, and I was afraid he'd fail like quarterbacks did earlier.
What I was going to say, though, is it's kind of coming off what Ryan was saying, is that it's so fun just coming on Fridays, hanging out with you guys.
I do love coming on Fridays.
He's gonna come.
It's not a show. It's not like we're presenting for all you guys. It's really just us hanging out on Fridays, and you guys are with us. It's not like you guys are the audience. You are literally part of the show. Like, you guys watching the show, being in the chat, the legion of memers, like, fuck, that is such a cool thing to see, like, on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff, and you are part of the show. And that's what I love to see, is you guys going out. I was talking to Sheep just a minute ago, how they're starting their own panel show. And I love seeing you guys going out there and doing it too, because, like Nick just said, go out and make stuff. Make stuff, and that's why they hate us, because we're making shit.
Damn right.
And we're good.
Remember yesterday?
Quarter Black didn't get a clap. I got
I didn't work for monkeypox.
Slum COVID. Slum!
Last night's show, we even talked about it.
We've been talking about it.
Last 2 weeks, no cussing, and then just like within 10 minutes, we were talking about monkey spots. There is no plan.
And it was more sex than we before that.
Yeah.
The worst part of this panel is that people see the comics division isn't as short as the media.
That's all Jason on that one.
Loves telling that story. Well, it was last year in Vegas. I had too much to drink for some reason. And I went live and I said comics division is a dwarf. Ever since then, everyone thinks he's a dwarf.
It was funny because like when we're in Dallas, a lot of people come up to me and say, "No, you're not as short as this is." It's a joke.
I've actually worked like this.
I've seen the pictures.
We joke around a lot, but I did want to get really serious. There was some breaking news a couple hours ago. Joe Biden has COVID again.
No, he does not.
I guess the eighth booster vaccine just got it a week ago. Didn't help. So
The fact that I knew exactly what you were going to say. That is
Are you sure it's not monkeypox?
I'd ask Pete Buttigieg, I suppose.
Yeah, somebody, well, I guess don't warn Joe that when Pete calls and offers to inoculate him for monkeypox, he should avoid that injection.
I think he had something different in mind being nominated for Secretary of the Interior.
Well, you go to the drunk 3PO at that
Yeah.
point. You just also
So, I don't know what I'm doing up here. They had an extra seat. They're like, you want to sit down?
And it's how it works. Yeah, it's kind of how most
Supposed to be the backdrop.
Yeah. That's it.
That's kind of how most of the bands go.
Yeah, let's tell that story. The Las Vegas
all right,
story.
all right,
No,
hold
the
on.
one where you came over to my house and we discussed you being on Friday Night Tights in Las Vegas, then you
Right.
completely forgot. After bitching that you're never on Friday Night Tights.
I've never bitched about it. I've never said that. It's other people that ask me to get people on. That's the thing.
No, in Dallas, you're like, hey, why don't you invite me to your show? I'm like, okay, sure. So I sent him a message. Haven't heard from. I got
Gina. If you just say you're Gina Carano.
Well, you know what.
So yeah, Jay is supposed to be on the show in Las Vegas. By the way, Las Vegas meetup.
August 17th, right? People have been asking. August
Millennium
17th,
Fandom Bar.
Millennium Fandom Bar, 6 p.m. It's going to be awesome.
So Jay does show up, then falls asleep on a couch during the show. So at least we got a meme out of it.
Yeah, somebody woke me up and said, it's your time to shine. They're like, hey, look at all the memes made out of you. And I'm like, wow. They're like, all right, Jay, thanks for being on. I didn't even say anything.
The best part was the one show you were actually on. You didn't get in the thumbnail because you were such a we added you late.
Yeah.
So you were still upset that you never made the thumbnail.
With Gina, and I had.
No, there's another one. This is like a long
Oh,
time ago,
yeah.
a while back, and I think I asked you to come on late, but we'd already had the thumbnail made.
Yeah.
And you just were like,
I wasn't on the
made this show, but I didn't make the thumbnail.
Yeah.
You gotta make it never enough.
Gotta make the
Week of a life.
That's it.
But at the end of the day, similar to the first panel, really what this is all about, the reason we're all up here is because of you guys. And every time we do these, whether it's a meet up at a bar or whether we're going on these conventions, it's truly humbling. The fact that anybody wants to come up and shake our hand because of our opinion on a Star Wars movie or something. Because it's gotten so much bigger than that for a lot of people. So truly, for all of us up here, we appreciate the hell out of all you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right there. But since, do you want to start taking questions now since we didn't have a whole lot of time last time?
I got a super chat.
Yeah.
I can't live stream, but I can grip on yours.
We are live on Geeks and Gamers, so shout out to everybody in the chat that are watching live right now. We got 3,000 people watching, so shout out to all of you. And that just speaks to the power of FNT and just everybody up here. This is awesome. So yeah, if you want to take questions or anything.
I have a super chat. No, I thought you were just rubbing it in. Yeah, good. Okay. The Dragon's Treasure. This is from the Dragon. Says, come to booth 1509 and buy my delicious tea. That's it. He tried to write it on the back, but he fucked up. So he is here. That tall weirdo is here selling his delicious tea and ass-related products.
There you go. Only Ricada can pull that one off. Sandra, do you have any questions?
Yeah.
Question.
He was showing the team. Oh, shit.
Yeah, so Gary, you've talked about in the past that you've got an IP and you don't want to show anyone a comic book, a comic book you created. So you're going to go ahead and let Ripper publish it for you now? Oh, shit.
Maybe if we can make if somebody else can draw it, write it, letter it, color it.
Do all the hard work.
I'll just hand them over the IP if you want. Thanks. Yeah.
That's good. What's up, man?
Alright. So, as a bullet creator, I've gotten the first, second, and third novel ready. The first and second were published, and I went through self-publishing. My self-publisher wasn't honest with my sales. So I decided maybe self-publishing wasn't the route. So then I tried literary agents, but every single literary agent wants to check this agenda, that agenda, and if that character is not in there, then they don't give a crap what story I've written. And I wondered maybe if y'all had any advice on what to do, since if I'm not filling out this agenda, I'm not getting published, and if self-publishers, I just got to go on their word. I was thinking maybe Amazon, try and publish through them if y'all thought maybe they were reputable, because they're the only reason I found out I was getting screwed by the first guy. But I just wondered what y'all's opinion, like how to get the story out and keep it intact instead of having to bend it so somebody else.
I wish I knew anybody who liked self-publishing anything.
No, I think honestly, I think going through publishers in general is kind of like, I'm not gonna say it's obsolete. There's gonna be advantages and disadvantages there, but I think now more than ever you could do it literally yourself. It's just having that initial cost and understanding the scale. That stuff is very difficult to get. But this is why so many people are like in the crowdfunding space, because it's like, hey, I don't have to take as much risk, and I can make my story come to life. So you might want to go that route depending on what your startup funds is. Maybe going the route of using some sort of kind of crowdfund element to let people in on the story. But the key with that stuff is definitely if you don't have like the connections there, you want to make sure that you package that very well. Because it's easy to get like lost in like this whole ocean of just everybody's calling themselves a creator these days. So package it as best as you can and maybe go the crowdfunding route. But if you can literally self-publish, as in you are the one handling it, I say you should do that as opposed to going through some publishing house and getting screwed over in with it.
There's nothing stopping you from PDFing your document and selling it on your own website. And also, don't let anyone out there tell you what to do with your story. If they're making you force checkboxes, don't do it. Walk away.
Yeah.
Be true to your story.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, because I mean, when we talk about this from like a content creator standpoint, I mean, we all, I think we all, I know I can speak for myself, but sometimes you're like, man, am I gonna criticize that? And that was like in the early days, like, because you know that the labels and the criticism. Now I don't think about it because Ryan's here, so everything I say is said far worse. But in the early stages of it, it's just like, that was years and years ago where actually being called a racist and a sexist was a bad thing. Now it just means someone disagrees with you. You got to fight through that and power through it, because ultimately only you know what your vision is, and you can't let other people on the outside that have created some type of fictional, enemy there deter you from your path. So stay the course. So.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question.
Thoughts on Blood Eyes?
If you want to be able to sell $3.3 million of your self-published comic book, bring Bud Eyes.
Bud Eyes!
I don't know. That makes no sense. Someone's going to be drinking Bud Eyes trying to sell a book, and they come out here and be like, I trust you. They're going to sell $4 million. That's good.
Drunk!
In addition to that, though, like the important thing to remember that the reason they're able to demand a compromise from you on your story is that they're giving you something that you may not have access to, which is the exposure, right? So when you make that compromise, you're selling that to them. You may not be selling them upfront money. You're probably going to be giving up a percentage or whatever, but that compromise, that's their price. That's their blood price for you. You don't want to pay that, and you shouldn't want to pay that. You have to understand that you have to make up. Your work, your treasure, your investment has to make up what they could or what they were supposed to give you. Eric July, I mean, this dude, 3.3 million, but we talked about this. He's been doing this, over a decade.
Yeah, 2006, 2007, yeah.
I mean, this dude has been putting in the work. He's been laying that groundwork, that infrastructure. I know there's a lot of creators coming out, the generic branded, I'm a creator of some sort, trying to make it in the space. They're getting frustrated because, I've been working 6 months and I'm not there. I've been working a year and I'm not there. I mean, all of us here have been working a long time on something to get to where we are. Sure, overnight success has happened, but really it's showing up, it's grind, it's grind, it's grind. Make you, because people are going to invest in you to buy your story. So you got to put in that work, and that the publishing has always been a shortcut to that, but it's not there if you don't want to pay the price.
That's perfectly said by Nick, because I mean I know a lot of people have seen a lot of Ripper's critics are just like, oh, this guy was just because he had a YouTube channel, he's earned $3 million or something. Like, it's just all dismissal. It's all moving the goalpost and dismissing. In reality, like again, I've talked about it many times. Rip is the type of guy, and I'm sure I'm not like this is just my experience, but this is the guy who, in the middle of creating this, he would come on a Mario Kart stream with me and stream to 20 people for our premium members, and I'm like, aren't you busy? But it's just like, because we're friends. And
No. That's an unhealthy addiction. There's something wrong with it.
But that's the type of guy he is, and he's created so many different relationships and worked his ass off to his music career and YouTube career. But it wasn't just it just happened because he has a big YouTube channel. That's not, everybody with a big YouTube channel can't do what he did. There's a lot of layers to that. And so
most of them can't. Not even close.
Yeah, true.
There are people with big YouTube channels who do big crowdfunders, and they're not even in the same fucking sport.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God. Somebody in the chat on YouTube said 8 guys, 1 mic. It's just the lineup of
Mike's name is Mike.
Okay, so I have a question kind of related to what he said earlier about trying to publish a book, and you've got people telling you to write certain kinds of characters and whatnot. I think it relates to a lot to ESG. So mainly for Nick, is there anyone who can actually legally fight against ESG, and how that's being used to push certain narratives in TV shows, movies, and books?
Short answer is no. Like the private credit agencies exist, and it's a similar concept, right? Some jackasses got together and figured out they can make a bunch of money monitoring how you spend yours, and then that became the basis for who gets to give you money and who doesn't. And government bases their policy on these private companies with nebulous policies on how to do it. ESG and all of that stuff is based on the same thing. It's the danger of pervasive fake capitalism, and in our current system, there's no real way around it until we get
Sri Lanka.
What?
Seriously, look at Sri Lanka. All that was based off of ESG. That failure of that country is because of that nonsense.
I'm trying to look at Sri Lanka.
We can just look at
It's going to take something like that. But be us.
But really,
we need to stop investing into companies that will invest in ESG.
and never wait for someone to rescue you from a shitty system, because we have today is the most able time literally ever to make a. One of my buddies, he bought a 3D printer and he 3D printed that fucking orb meme, like pondering my orbs guy, and he sold just a shitload of them. And what? You can make anything and sell it now. Don't wait for the system to change, because we have the ability farming system. That's what Rippaverse
Yeah.
is. Parallel economy.
Yeah!
Okay, I just wanted to say I've seen a lot of the same places, the same faces, and some of the same families or the good families. And most of y'all probably downloaded the app. There is a place on the app there to rate, so please rate them highly.
I'm just more worried about this side.
Whatever. That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Look, I've seen some costumes held up by less state.
Also aware of the ESG programs and funds are unsustainable due to the fact that every company that is focused on ESG or focusing on certainly eventually collapse or eat themselves.
Yeah, the thing is, we talk about this a lot. Just because Lightyear flops for Disney, right, and they lose $200 million on that doesn't mean they're going to change overnight. You know, when you have things like the parks, which Jay talks about all the time, like you have so many different revenue sources. One, you do 3 movie flops in a row might not be enough to make people fucking change their minds about that stuff. So it's about a sustained effort, and that's why I continue to talk about this stuff, continue to point out what they're pushing, continue to expose them like so many people have been doing. It's really important going forward because just 1 or 2 failures ain't gonna be enough.
Eventually it will all collapse for ESG because most ESG funds are actually funded indirectly by the federal government.
Well, and that in large companies like BlackRock. BlackRock has more money than God.
So less money than Ripple.
Creation. I heard a rumor about you kind of manufacturing or creating a Matsuri.
She's not here. She's not here. Oh, actually, that's a different
All right,
panel.
yes, that is true. X-ray girl, really.
Wait, you gotta give it the X-ray.
Because X-ray girl's a big fan of capitalism, even though she lives in Canada. She will continue to build shelves while bending over.
She has a P.O. box. She's sent the shelves to
In fact, anything you want her to build, she said she's down.
She'll do it.
So get creative.
Bought an IKEA.
And then front.
So the YouTube algorithm sort of like be on groups like basically for example, do you think there'll ever be another group like 29 Types on YouTube or has the gate closed on individuals like that?
I think it's open. It's still open. Yeah, 100%. The thing about YouTube and its algorithm is it's constantly closing the door. It's always closing the door and opening it different. You just have to figure out where that other door is.
Yeah.
So just, I mean, this is just a show where we all talk. That's all it is. And you can get around whatever algorithms they put out. It's hard to follow YouTube if you're going to follow it through the algorithm because it really is confusing.
It has to be organic.
It has to be organic.
Like, even like G4 TV.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
Rely on like
Exactly.
fake shit. Yeah.
See, those are the same things, right? FNT, what they tried to do on G4, they're similar, but we grew because it's authentic, it's real people talking about real shit, hanging out, and that's all that matters. And that can't be destroyed by an algorithm. Yeah, and I can say like I hope that there is enough, like we all right, the tide lifts all ships. We all say that it's cliche, but it's true. I hope there is another show that gets that consistency. And I mean, look, myself, at 3 in the morning,
All the fucking degenerates.
An important part of that, though, that part of that organic growth and talking about the YouTube algorithm. I mean, the algorithm's a faucet. It's on, it's off. You know, you ride it like you ride it like Amber Heard's trimming machine when it's but when we have to gaily say, like, check out my website, check out my locals, check out my Patreon, like, the reason we do that is because because when YouTube pulls bullshit and the algorithm shuts us off and doesn't feed it to the people who want to watch us, or unsubscribes people who are mods and paid members while you're fucking live, when it does that, you will always find us in our home places. And that cross-pollination is where you will get that organic growth. It's where you can share something that where, like links to our YouTube content or whatever, and it can help people, but it will always help you find the things you like. Don't ever let the algorithm dictate what you like, or you end up like me with just a shitload of breakdancing videos and Romanian pole vault.
And also, don't just rely just on YouTube. Build your own websites from there if you can, but also there's Odyssey and Rumble, there's other places. That way, when you get your strike, you get a stream, you have a place to get stream. That way your audience can have access to it.
Gentleman in the white scarf there.
I'm not on the panel, so I'm going to pass my bad takes off to Nick. Hey, Nick, why do you hate the original Star Wars trilogy?
But he's right.
They're ruining them
We
now.
have 3 minutes. The problem is, I don't know if Gary's pacemaker is up for this conversation.
I think Disney and Ricada are in on business together because they are slowly making the Jedi the rumors that you by retconning everything.
Star Wars is a story about groomers. Have you heard of fucking Padme Amidala? Thank you. And then I see Brittany Vance right there.
Hi. I just want to say your fans are really nice. They're really nice to me, especially at the time I was on. So they're really cool. Nice turnout. I love all of you. But I want to ask Gary what he thinks about attractive women in comics and generally nerd culture.
Attractive women in comics.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yes.
So this is the 90s Danger Girl. Yeah.
Right on.
Image lingerie issue.
You mean attractive women like in the comic book or like writing the content?
Attractive women work.
In the media.
In the media, I'm completely for it. I would love to see that come back because right now we're just seeing this genderless. What Hollywood or whatever this ESG crap wants. They want a bunch of people, genderless people in gray fucking jumpsuits sitting at a table talking about nothing for 2 hours. That's what we're going.
We need to get Britney's things back on FNT when everybody likes it.
I'd be happy to come back on. Thank you. Thank you for answering my question.
Thanks for reminding me.
Very well. Coming off our fast food tier list. I mean, if you watch that, it's really good. We put a lot of editing into that, and that created a big discussion on FNT.
Sorry, but I'm always up for a tier 4 Popeyes chip outfit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best BLT
They don't have these in San Antonio, but Taco Bell.
Oh, is that Del Taco? I don't give a fuck about that. Eric.
What is it? Oh, man. And nobody's going to hear about it because like you're from Dallas place in Oak Cliff called Rudy's.
Half the people here knew about it.
Dallas, true story. Always talks about it.
And then we got time for one more right there. Yeah.
All right, this might be too long for you to answer, Eric, but I was just wondering, how did you get started with the Blaze TV?
Oh, that's a good question. Real quick, Dana Loesch, she was with them before she went to NRA TV, and then she now left this. It was like mid-2010s or whatever. And I just did that interview with Tucker Carlson talking about like minimum wage or something random like that. And so she had me on her show. And because they're based out of like Dallas, it was easy for me to go up there. So yeah, everything started from that, and I was on Doc Thompson's show, rest in peace, and everything kind of went from there. So it all started with I credit her all the time, but even though she's not with Blaze anymore, it was Dana Loesch. She was my introduction to like the whole team over there. So big shout out to her.
Shout out to Sarah Gonzalez.
Yes! Because it's Friday Night Tights, and we don't ever stay on plan, so.
Right there, okay. The hat.
There's been some rumblings of red states like Florida and West Virginia trying to form some sort of loose coalition against ESG. Do you think there's anything constitutional they can actually do about ESG, or is that just something that's going to get thrown down in courts?
It's tough because technically the federal Congress is the only person with power to regulate commerce under the Commerce Clause and the broad interpretation of it by the Supreme Court. But, like with anything in law, we'll fucking see.
Ultimately with ESG, it's stupid. Everybody knows it's stupid, so it's unsustainable. So it'll eventually burn its way out before we can do anything legally. That's why we try to reform normies every day. It's like, you know what? Don't pay for that Thor movie. Like, I didn't pay for the Thor movie when I saw it. I went to get Top Gun money again and stuck in like a 10-year-old to the fucking movie.
Just be mindful where you invest your money and where you buy stuff from. That's the only way we can really fight it.
You don't want money to do it.
There you go. And for the rest of the day, I'm going to spend some money at Anime Matsuri. With Ryan, so I can vouch for him as his dad.
Is it possible to have a Friday Night Tights panel without mentioning the great Perry Chan? Christy Mayer, shout out. X-Ray Girl. He said Odin. I said Odin. But we love you, Odin. We love you, Odin. And everybody else. I mean, it's a crazy thing that we've got going on, and it's we don't know what we're doing, and we're going to continue to not know what we're doing. Anyway, yeah, thank you all. I know a lot of us are going to be back down at our respective panels in the YouTube area. So if you guys want to come to the booth, so if you guys want to come down there and meet us, hang out with us, shake our hands, whatever. The only person you have to pay for a picture is Ricada.